The internet went crazy when Disney's Snow White trailer was released, but not in a good way. The outcry is unprecedented, with over 660,000 dislikes outnumbering loves. Audiences are incensed, claiming that the film is a betrayal of a beloved classic due to its slick CGI, fragmented plot, and divisive character choices. Will the enchantment of Disney finally wear off? As you may remember, Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot appeared in the first Snow White film. Disney has ruined this one in every manner imaginable for the film. You may recall that the trailer for that movie was so bad that Disney had to redo it entirely. When Disney first revealed their live-action Snow White, it appeared like the only thing wrong with the movie was the controversy. Fans were divided over Rachel Zegler's choice to play Snow White, so the initial criticism was not shocking. Despite Zegler's obvious talent, reviewers questioned whether she was a good fit for the part, pointing out the discrepancy between her public character and the traditional Snow White image. Zegler and her co-stars' statements on the original plot, which were harsh criticisms that many saw as an assault on the cherished 1937 animated masterpiece, made matters worse. In interviews, Zegler rejected Snow White's romantic fantasies, saying the heroine required a contemporary makeover to represent a more strong story. For fans who loved the original story, remarks like, "She's not dreaming of true love and she's not going to be saved by the prince," seemed like a slap in the face. Several people took the co-star's comments as a jab at the original character's simplicity and charm. The production team stepped up their efforts, promising a plot that would bring Snow White up to date for audiences of today. Fans believed Disney was ignoring the story's timeless qualities in favor of a preachy narrative that put messaging above magic, which caused a wave of public discontent with the film, and it ended up selling over 46 million copies. People wanted a genuine rendition with a new viewpoint, not a total makeover, rather than a new Snow White. And so a lot of people in response were buying it because it's a new story for Manja's clothing, which wasn't in the film at all. And so it's had the top. Disney's marketing tactics simply made the situation worse, as if the story changes weren't enough. The promotional materials felt mediocre rather than presenting the movie as a spectacular remake. When teasers were posted, viewers had little idea what to expect. I personally think watching the movie through revealed a whole lot more about all of these movies got to the bottom of. The uproar surrounding the cast's off-screen comments and online drama overshadowed every action, which only served to increase confusion and criticism. With each tidbit, anticipation had given way to cynicism, which in turn had given way to downright contempt. By the time the official trailer was scheduled to be released, it turned into a stark reminder of how much Disney has alienated its fans rather than a celebration of one of its most famous tales. Disney's strategy for promoting Snow White was absolutely perplexing. YouTube and other publicly accessible platforms did not host the official trailer when it eventually made its premiere. Rather, Disney decided to restrict its availability to a small number of cinemas for a short time. This choice seemed odd for a movie that was positioned as a big undertaking. It was almost as if the studio was purposefully hiding the trailer. The internet quickly learned about this peculiar strategy, leaving fans frantically attempting to catch a glimpse of the trailer, which eventually leaked online as shaky, low-quality videos. Even though the leak was unintentional, it generated further discussion. Why would Disney, a business that is well known for its aggressive marketing strategies, make it so difficult to view their trailers? Since the project had already been drowning in negative publicity, there was conjecture that the studio was attempting to stall public inquiry and call to all public events to respect Yashram's faith if they did. The reaction was overwhelmingly negative when the trailer finally appeared on Disney's official accounts. Disney's stalling tactics, according to critics, had failed horribly. They had simply increased mistrust rather than creating expectation. It seemed as though Disney had set itself up for failure by concealing the one element that was meant to appeal to viewers, and many started analyzing every frame of the trailer, highlighting every fault. In addition to harming the movie's reputation, the strange marketing approach exposed a gulf between Disney and its viewers. Instead of responding to the criticism or focusing on what made Snow White so popular, the studio appeared determined to completely avoid the controversy. The end effect was a trailer release that seemed less like a celebration of a timeless classic and more like damage control. The internet was quick to express its opinions when the Snow White trailer was finally posted to YouTube. The response was harsh and immediate. In a matter of days, the trailer received an astounding 6,000 more dislikes than likes at the time of writing. It was evident that viewers were actively rejecting Disney's concept for the movie rather than simply being disappointed. The comment area became a treasure trove, a wealth of witty, scathing quotes such as, "This trailer is more entertaining than a movie will ever be, and they finally made a movie no one will pirate," encapsulated the overall attitude. People were making fun of the trailer rather than merely condemning it. The comments' tone ranged from dissatisfied to downright nasty, and the interaction soon outperformed the trailer in terms of entertainment value. Their worst was confirmed by the trailer. The graphics were harsh, overdone, and featured lifeless, fake dwarfs and CGI animals. The entire look felt more like a parody of a Disney movie than a true rendition because of how overly saturated the colors were. In addition to its graphics, the trailer's story was jumbled and unclear, as if it were torn between honoring the original and offering a contemporary interpretation. The outcry was not confined to YouTube. Memes, criticisms, and discussions erupted on social networking sites. Fans of the first movie bemoaned the loss of its charm and simplicity. Others, however, questioned why Disney had made the initial effort at a live-action remake. The answer revealed a growing dissatisfaction with Disney's recent practice of putting spectacle and messaging ahead of narrative. The process of recording the film is unnecessary, someone told the website. Of shooting, documentary, and real building included in the scene is the highlight. The Snow White trailer attempts to balance paying homage to the 1937 classic with providing a contemporary adaptation. As a result, neither style feels completely fulfilled, and the movie appears to be caught between two radically different identities. On the one hand, there are references to the film's nostalgic aspects, the inclusion of characters and motivations that seasoned fans would recognize, as well as the colorful visual moments that retell classic situations. However, the updated strategy seems to be destroying those same components in order to create space for a new, more forward-thinking story. So, the problem is that these two narrative philosophies don't mesh well, rather, they conflict. Modern ideas that appear forced into the narrative gradually overshadow the nostalgic illusions, making them seem flimsy. In the trailer, Snow White is seen as a strong-willed, independent leader in the making, motivated by goals her late father instilled in her, rather than a sweet, idealistic princess yearning for true love. Making a more complex Snow White is perfectly acceptable, but the issue is that this new interpretation seems to contradict the essence of the original character. The trailer didn't do the character justice by the trailer, and I wonder if the original character fans of the classic are alienated by the trailer's portrayal of Diana as someone who ignores the principles that make her story timeless. The portrayal of the evil queen exhibits the same tension. She is typically portrayed as a cold-hearted manipulator with compulsive vanity who will stop at nothing to preserve her strength and beauty. The original character's complexity and theatrical flair are absent from the new incarnation, at least as seen in the teaser. She seems like a diluted version of the frightening antagonist that viewers love to despise because of the attempts to update her intentions. Both groups, fans of the original and those looking for a new viewpoint, feel let down by the gap between the old and the new, while contemporary audiences are left with a story that doesn't fully commit to its updated themes. Others who are pulled to the nostalgic components feel as though their treasured memories are being destroyed. It seems that the movie tries to please everyone yet fails to do so, which is a common error in contemporary remakes. For a studio as well known as Disney, which has produced cinematic masterpieces in the past, Snow White's weak visual effects are among the most obvious complaints. The trailer's computer-generated imagery seems rather poor. The woodland animals, which were so endearing in the original animated film, now resemble oversaturated digital models with no soul or personality. The dwarfs fare even worse. Originally intended as a group of diverse magical beings to avoid using dwarf actors, the backlash forced Disney to change course mid-production. The magical creatures, once a hallmark of Disney's ability to bring stories to life, now appear lifeless and artificial. The end effect is an odd blend of animation and hyperrealism that is unsettling rather than captivating. Always waiting for the next event. Their faces don't have the charm and expressiveness that made the original character so unforgettable. Rather than being enchanted, they appear startling and out of place with the rest of the movie. Disney seems to have regressed to this degree of CG mediocrity, particularly in comparison to its previous endeavors. Consider the remarkably lifelike animals in The Lion King, those of 2019, or The Chronicles of Narnia. Disney's ability to combine technology and narrative was showcased in these films. In comparison, Snow White's computer-generated imagery seems hurried and uninspired, as though it was produced more for the sake of meeting a deadline than to produce a work of magic. The issues go beyond CGI. The set designs lack the immersive quality that Disney fans have grown accustomed to, seeming cheap and green-screened. Additionally, the outfits are a complete failure. Snow White's dress, in particular, has drawn a lot of criticism for seeming plastic. It's obvious that something went awry during production when contrasting this with the exquisite design found in Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast. These visual components detract from the narrative rather than enhance it, giving the impression that the movie is a low-budget parody of Disney's former splendor. Another area of dispute is the performances in Snow White, where Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler are criticized the most. Long before the publication of the trailer, Zegler was in hot water. She publicly denounced the original story and dismissed its concepts as out of date in her interviews that preceded the movie, which were rife with controversy. Remarks / atmosphere believed she showed little regard for the character's heritage. Zegler's singing voice is unquestionably amazing, and she confidently delivers her lyrics during her performance. Her portrayal, meanwhile, feels unduly updated and lacks the soft charm that characterized the character in the original movie, giving the impression that she doesn't quite capture the warmth and purity that made Snow White so adored. Her off-screen persona, which many fans believe doesn't fit the stereotype of a Disney princess, exacerbates this mismatch. Equally polarizing is Gal Gadot's transformation into the evil queen. Disney villains are typically oversized characters with a penchant for the spectacular and an abundance of charisma. These characters, who range from Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty to Scar in The Lion King, command attention and make an impression. In comparison, Gat Evil Queen comes across as unlikable and stiff. She lacks the sly cleverness and compulsive vanity that characterize the character. Rather, she seems like a one-dimensional opponent rather than opening up and sharing. What do you think of this then? Tell us in the comments section below.